Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Neto from Universidade Federal Rural de Pernambuco. So I'm here to represent the organizer committee of the second Matemairacorana. And I would like to say a few words about how we organized this. First of all, I would like to thank all the organizers, scientific committee, communications committee from Departamento de Matemática here in the University Federal Rural de Pernambuco, who gives us the technological support for the lives, and all of you participants. The first Matemairacorana happened in 2005, idealized and organized by Professor Hildeberto Cabral. And his objective was to provide the interaction between researchers, students, and the academic community in general for dissemination of the celestial mechanics. So, it is very important to us to continue with these ideas in mind. And the 80 years old from Hildeberto, it's a great time to bring back this. We would like to do face-to-face here in Recife, but as you know, COVID crisis doesn't authorize us. So we thought to do something online. As Hildeberto teaches us, we are trying not to do many formalities, to organize the connections between youngers and the not so younger researchers, motivate new projects, and of course, celebrate the anniversary of Hildeberto, his legacy and celestial mechanics. And speak about this, we start to celebrate with Hildeberto's family. So we have a video. Jason, tu pode parar de compartilhar esse para eu conseguir compartilhar o outro? Jason? Okay, thank you. I think that's a little problem, audio problem. I'm sorry, could you hear the audio? I don't know.
All right, I had some movies.
It's not so good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grande festa, seus 80 anos. A igreja e seus filhos fizeram em homenagem a você. Veja como você é querido dessas criaturas. O que é que você achou?
Eu quero deixar para quem é professor, e foi professor durante muito tempo, no alto universitário, cercado pelos amigos e pela família. Apesar da Covid, virtualmente, mas aí tem muito amor e carinho. E respeito ao aniversário seu, gostaria de desejar que a gente possa ter ainda várias oportunidades para discutir os problemas mecânicos.
Neto, o som, eu acho que tem um problema.
Ok.
Manda para mim que eu tento apresentar. Minha internet aqui.
Espera aí, eu acho que Gerson, ele está com essa página aberta. Gerson, você pode compartilhar, por favor? É o segundo vídeo. No mesmo lugar que tem a vinheta, tem o 02. Família. Okay. We have technological problems.
Please take off the microphones.
Quarentena braba. Nem podemos fazer uma... Velho, nós estamos numa quarentena braba. Nem podemos fazer uma grande festa para os seus 80 anos. Mas veja aí o que os seus netos, filhos e netos fizeram em homenagem a você. Veja como você é querido por essas criaturas. O que é que você achou?
Eu quero desejar para aquele que é professor e é pai, e foi professor e pai durante muito tempo e muitas vezes, um ótimo aniversário, cercado aí pelos amigos e pela família. Apesar da Covid, virtualmente, mas aí com muito amor e carinho. E eu sei que o aniversário é seu, gostaria apenas de desejar que a gente possa ter ainda várias e várias oportunidades para discutir os problemas de mecânica aí que tanto agrada a todos nós.
Parabéns, pai, pelos 80 anos. Parabéns também por ser essa pessoa especial, inspiradora, engraçada, dispersa e sempre presente na vida da mulher, dos filhos, dos netos. É uma felicidade muito grande ser sua filha. E ainda bem que você errou um cálculo na sua vida, que foi achar que a vida ia até os 60 anos. A gente já está com 20 anos no lucro, curtindo juntos, e eu acho que ainda vai ter muito mais pela frente. Beijo, saúde e muita alegria.
Oi, pai, feliz aniversário. Vim aqui para poder lembrar aquela história que a gente teve no carro, em que você me ensinou o binômio de Newton. E assim, foi uma proeza tão grande que até hoje está marcada aqui na minha memória. Felicidades.
Parabéns, pai. Desejo muitos e muitos, muitos anos de vida. Para nós é um prazer ter você sempre por perto. Você é um cara exemplo, um ótimo pai, avô, sogro, tudo que você pode ser, de melhor você é. Eu te amo muito e espero que a gente curta muitos e muitos, muitos anos essa data. Um beijo.
Tio, parabéns pelos 80 anos. Eu estou aqui representando o único filho postiço. Então, desejo toda a felicidade do mundo. E eu só tenho a agradecer por você ter me recebido aqui no começo da minha formação médica, né, como residente. Me aguentou aí por uns 3 anos. Então, obrigado e felicidades. Um abraço.
Parabéns pelos 80 anos, muita saúde, felicidade e muitas bancas de mestrado e doutorado por vir aí. Parabéns.
Parabéns, bicho, pelos 80 anos aí. Muita felicidade para tu, muita saúde e feliz aniversário. Que a vida continue aí.
Parabéns, Buda. Eu te amo muito e me inspiro muito em você. E que essas datas se repitam muitas vezes mesmo. Estou morrendo de saudade. Beijo.
Feliz aniversário, Buda. Eu te amo muito. Tá ficando bem velho, viu? E eu tenho orgulho de ter você como meu avô. E, vô, nunca esqueça. Pelo amor de Deus, põe uma camisa.
Feliz aniversário, Buda. Curta muito o seu dia. 80 anos já, hein? Tá ficando velho. Beijo.
Feliz aniversário, vô. Parabéns pelos seus 80 anos. Que você tenha um bom dia e que você faça o que você sempre quis. Beijo. Tchau.
Parabéns, vô. Muita felicidade. Tchau. Beijo.
E aí, bicho, tudo bom? Parabéns pelos teus 80 anos. Você é um cara muito legal, muito especial. Tenho muita afinidade com você. A gente gosta de coisas parecidas. A gente já fez ótimas viagens juntos. Já comeu ótimos queijos por aí. E espero que a gente continue fazendo isso por muitos e muitos anos. Um grande abraço, meu velho. Comemore tomando uma cervejinha.
Hildeberto, meus parabéns. Bicho, eu te acho um cara extraordinário. Te desejo toda a felicidade do mundo. Abraço.
1, 2, 3 e já!
Cadê? Já foi? Não. Agora!
Okay, so I think that Jair could start the round table, the thematic round table for today. And feliz aniversário, Hildeberto. Muita saúde.
Muito obrigado.
Okay, good morning, everybody, especially Hildeberto. I will only speak a couple minutes, and then I will pass to Cláudio, who is going to speak about Hildeberto's career. And then Cláudio will call Dan. We're going to leave the presentation of Alain Albuí for next time, because they're not having a big lockout in France. So presentation of Alain will be next time. So the presentations will be for about 25 minutes. So there'll be, I think, times for questions, and that will be a great section. Let me just talk about 1 minute to say that I know Hildeberto since I was 17 years old. I was his grader. I saw his first 2 children in their cribs. And I can see now that Hildeberto is about to have grandchildren, which is a great accomplishment. And those are not only personal grandchildren, but scientific ones. And it's very, I mean, I think a big accomplishment to put Recife in the map. I don't know if you guys, everybody knows about Recife. I'll speak about 30 seconds about this town. Recife has 2 rivers that when they enter the sea, they form the Atlantic Ocean. You got that, right? So, and Recife had a lot of influence from the Dutch. And when the Dutch were expelled, a part of the Recife people went to the north. They colonized the Caribbean, and they colonized a strange country in the north called North America. And New York is, I would say, a product of Recife, and that's a historical fact. And having said that, I should go international in the sense that this meeting might be seen from maybe a distance, but only 4 or 5 light years from us on an exoplanet in 5 years with intelligent life. So I hope that everybody here can present to our friends from these exoplanets what we have achieved in celestial mechanics in the weeks to come. And they will know that Hildeberto made history in Recife. So I would just mention 2 people that unfortunately are not with us, that were very good friends of Hildeberto. That was Ernesto Lacomba and Florin Diaco. They were close collaborators of Hildeberto, and we miss them so much this time. But we know that all the tradition of celestial mechanics of our generation is passing to this new generation that is going to do very nice things in the future. So having said that, I'll pass now to José Cláudio Vidal, that traveled all the way by bus from his small town in Chile to Recife to begin this adventure in celestial mechanics. So, Cláudio, please come in.
Let me see, I'm going to put my presentation.
Preciso colocar o PDF, Anete.
Tá conseguindo, Cláudio?
Não, a tela pega todo e não deixa abrir meu PDF.
Você está compartilhando só a janela ou a tela inteira?
A tela inteira.
Tenta compartilhar só a janela. E aí vai aparecer as opções para você escolher. Bonjour, Alain! Les deux! Você quer me mandar por e-mail, Cláudio? Eu posso passar a sua também.
Mas que eu consegui há pouco tempo, só que agora, como tem muita gente na tela, ela não me deixa ir ao meu escritório. Eita.
Apareceu e desapareceu, Cláudio. Que estranho.
Sim.
Tenta de novo, por favor.
Let me give a suggestion. If we take our cameras and sounds, everybody, perhaps that will help guide you to start. And then slowly you can put your camera on if you wish.
Alain.
Alain, si tu veux parler, il faut cliquer sur les micros en bas. Les micros rouges en bas.
Ça y est, j'ai compris. Maintenant, je sais éteindre la caméra. J'ai fait un progrès. Voilà.
Alain, tu peux demander à Alain la présentation par mail.
Mon micro est ouvert, là.
Oui, et après, tu pourrais fermer. Est-ce que tu peux demander à Alain, oui, de m'envoyer par mail son présentation, comme ça, il peut parler par ton téléphone et moi, je passe la présentation ici. Est-ce que c'est possible?
Il veut pas utiliser mon téléphone.
Ah, ok.
Il le fera la semaine prochaine, il dit, parce que là, c'est pas commode.
C'est pas grave, ok, c'est réglé.
Oui. Donc, je ferme.
Merci. Eu acho que Cláudio caiu. Are you here, Cláudio? Yeah, ok. O microfone, Cláudio, está fechado. Tá fechado, Cláudio, o microfone. Não sei se você está falando.
Cláudio, liga o microfone, por favor. Eu posso tentar apresentar o PDF de Cláudio enquanto ele fala e eu vou mexendo.
Eu pedi a ele para mandar por e-mail, mas ele está tentando aqui. Vamos ver se ele consegue. Se não, pode mandar por e-mail para a gente apresenta, Cláudio. Está fechado o teu microfone.
Pronto, agora estou escutando. Estou tentando compartilhar minha apresentação.
Você quer me enviar por e-mail? Eu compartilho aqui a sua apresentação. Pronto. Você vai me dizendo quando passar.
Mando agora mesmo.
Ok. So we have to time to a coffee. Enviou, Cláudio?
Estou enviando. Que pesado.
Por conta das fotos.
É.
Ah, conseguiu.
Consegui?
Agora, Cláudia. Sim,
Pronto.
sim. Ótimo.
Dá para ver, Anete?
Vemos
Anete?
bem. Vemos bem a tela inteira do computador.
Ok?
Ok,
Dá
vemos.
para... Ok, sorry. Dá para me ouvir bem?
Oui.
Ok. Hello, everybody. Sorry for this problem. For me, it's a great pleasure to participate in this important event because of Hildeberto birthday. Parabéns, Hildeberto. Felicidades in occasion of his 80 years old. Are you listening well, Annette?
Yes, yes, we can
Yes,
listen well.
yes. I would like to speak about some scientific contribution in Hamiltonian system and celestial mechanics of Hildeberto. It's known for everybody that Hildeberto has worked many years. He has worked a lot of in order to disseminate the celestial mechanics and the Hamiltonian system in Brazil and many other countries. In my opinion, some important contribution of Hildeberto has been in different or by different point of view. First, Hildeberto has been very important in the development of celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system in Brazil. Without a doubt, Hildeberto has been a great leader in the development of celestial mechanics in the Brazilian Northeast. In addition, Hildeberto has been very important in the training of human resources, such as a master student and PhD student. Also, I would like to point out some important aspects about Hildeberto. I know Hildeberto since I was his master student in '89, and also I know Hildeberto since I was PhD student. I think that Hildeberto has many important quality and characteristics. For example, as person is friendly, calm, persistent. Another point, as academic teacher, all the time was very enthusiastic, very prepared during the teach or lecture. As a researcher, he was very, very good. As an advisor, he was a great leader. As college, he was a very nice person. As friend, I consider the best people. Personally, I only had positive adjective for Hildeberto person and his career. Some comments that that I intend that Hildeberto think about his career. he was mainly concentrated in the following topics: cooperation and scientific exchange. I think Hildeberto considered it very, very, very important. Visiting research was a very important point during the transformation of the mathematical in the Northeast in Brazil, mainly with the introduction of the work in celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system. Another point is the introduced celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system has an important area of mathematics. This was an important thing of Hildeberto because some researchers in Brazil thought that celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system was not a mathematical area in the past. Possessing a good mathematical training, Hildeberto all the time said that the good mathematical training is very important during the career. That make the difference. And this last phrase, summary, Hildeberto, he all the time said, con poco dinero podemos hacer mucho. With little funded or money, do a lot. I recall the summer school with little money. He get to many different researchers in Recife. About his research, I recall here different topics who Hildeberto worked and continue working in his career. For example, integral manifold of the n-body problem, central configuration and relative equilibrium for the n-body problem, the isosceles three-body problem, singularity of the n-body problem, normal form of Hamiltonian system, stability of equilibria, geometrical method in mechanics, bifurcation from family of periodic solution, dynamics of restricted n-body problems, and parametric stability. These are some topics related with his research or his interest in celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system. Another important part of his career is related with Hamsys. Hildeberto told me that Hamsys in 1991 in Cimat, Guanajuato, was a very important in his during his academic work. During this conference, Hildeberto presented the talk on Jacobi coordinate in the three-body problem. And here we have a picture. And here you can see Hildeberto and many other research in celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system. As I said before, Hamsys was very important in his develop in celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system. Here we have another picture. With many researchers that some of them visit Recife. Here you can find Hildeberto. another picture. And I think I would like to mention some visiting researchers in Recife who were very important for the development of the Recife group in celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian systems. Ken Meyer from University of Cincinnati was a very important about Hamiltonian systems, celestial mechanics, stability, periodic solution. Of course, Ken Meyer and whole books was very important in our formation as students and researchers. We study a lot of this book. Of course, Donald Saari also was very important in Recife. He visited the Department of Mathematics in Recife many times, talking about certain configuration, relative equilibrium, collision, and final motions. I would like to mention some of the visited research in Recife. Excuse me if I forgot something or someone, sorry. Dieter Smith, also from University of Cincinnati, also was important in Recife. He visited Recife and visited Hildeberto several times. He is a specialist in restricted three-body problem, normal form, periodic solution, central configuration. Sean Chia from University of Northwestern also visited Recife, giving a lecture about Arnold diffusion and singularity and the n-body problem. Of course, Florin Diaco has said Jair was very important also in Recife, talking about singularity, collision, blow up. Alain Albuy, Observatory de Paris, also visit and continue visit Recife from different times, talking about integral manifold in the n-body problem, central configuration, geometric mechanics. Alain Chassinet, Observatory de Paris, the n-body problem, geometric mechanics. Also, I would like to mention Ernesto Lacomba from University Autónoma Metropolitana. He was very important, has friend and has researched in Recife. He talked about collision, restricted n-body problem, blow up, geometric mechanics, and many other researchers visit Recife. Excuse me if I forget someone. Clark Robinson, John Magibre, David Sauzan, Ernesto Pérez Chavela, Guadalupe Reyes, Francesco Faso, Laurent Niederman, David Sauzan, Jean-Pierre Marcot, Christopher Macor, etc., etc., etc. Hildeberto was a great leader, inviting many researchers in order to introduce the celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system in Recife and in Brazil, and also open the window for Recife in the different countries where celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system is developed. And other researchers has Silvio Ferraz Melo, Jair Kohler, Clodoaldo, Teresa Stucchi, Stefanella, etc., etc., etc. Many, many other researchers in great and great person. And Hildeberto also, together, Florin Diacu, were the editor of the books Classical and Celestial Mechanics, the Recife Lecture, published in 2002. This was very important for the group in Recife. I think this paragraph or this page summarized very, very well the think or the thought or the thinking of Hildeberto about his work. This work brings together a number of lectures given between 93 and 99 as part of a special series hosted by the Federal University of Pernambuco, in which internationally established researchers come to Recife.
Claudio, I think that you have some internet problems. If it's possible, could you close your camera? Maybe it works. Mr. Sherman Jair Kohler, please.
No, let's wait a couple minutes to see if Claudio can come back. Otherwise, if he has his sound at least, you can, Anette, use his slides for him to finish the presentation. Is that okay?
I'm going to see if he sent me the slides. No, I didn't receive.
Okay.
Receive.
So you don't have the slides yet, okay?
No, I have Daniel off slides.
Okay. So let's wait a couple minutes. I'm gonna put my camera on for just a minute, just to compliment your senior participants that I didn't talk before, Alain Chanciner. I guess Richard Montgomery might be also listening. And of course, Professor Meyer, which is the dean of everybody. And what else? If in a few minutes we don't have Claudio, then I think Dan is all set, and then we go with Danofin. Yeah, Richard is in. So hi, Richard. Richard, do you want to say a few words while we wait for Claudio?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Of course.
Well, thank you for doing this. It's a lot of work. Thanks. I'll just tell a story. Hildeberto and I drove north to the point furthest most, I can't remember the name of the town. We did kind of vacation. And on the way, Hildeberto wanted to get some fruit from the side of the road. He got this fruit, these little, you will know the name, Hildeberto, these little berries. And he drives kind of fast. And he's eating the berries, and he starts to choke, like really, really choking. I thought I would have to do the Heimlich maneuver. And I was like almost certain we were going to die right there on the freeway with him choking. But he spat the berry out, and we had a good vacation, and I got to watch him swim. That's my Hildeberto story. You remember? Yeah?
Yeah. It was Itomba.
Itomba? Okay. Thank you. That's it. That's it for my stories.
Okay. So thanks a lot, Richard. And we apologize for such an early hours in California. I know it's about 6 or 7 a.m.
Yes, 7 a.m.
All right. Okay, bear with us. So then, are you? Can you start and then we resume with Hildeberto, you want to speak a few words? Okay. Later then, or whatever. So then, are you ready?
I think so. Let me just see if I can't get my file up. Just a moment here. Okay. Can you see that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just a moment here. Let me play with this a little bit and see if I can't make it work. Just a moment. Good morning, Richard. How are you? I hope you're surviving out there.
Yeah, a little bit tired, but I'm okay.
What, have you been up for the last 3 weeks watching the news, or what?
I had to make a vow not to watch the news on the day of the election, but it's difficult not to.
Difficult, yeah, I understand. Okay, now just a sec here. Let me see if I can't get this happening here.
If you want, I can put your PDF here.
Just a moment, Neto. Let me just see if I can. Okay.
It's coming.
Okay. Can you see that? Can you see that screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me just see if I have everything working then. Okay. So yeah. So let me just begin by saying a few words of appreciation to Hildeberto and certainly to Annette and to Jair for organizing the meeting that we're trying to struggle here with. The technology is always a complicating factor, and certainly it seems to be something that we all have to deal with. So I suppose it's not nothing new in that sense. But I really want to express my appreciation to Hildeberto over the years, especially his invitation to me and to, as Claudio has mentioned, to so many other young researchers who maybe are not so young anymore, but but still the memory of Hildeberto's generous offer of time and resources in our visiting and visitation in Recife were very much appreciated, and continue to be important, I think, in work that we're doing and continue to do. And again, I really want to express appreciation to Hildeberto. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some work that has been inspired generously by Hildeberto's participation. And I think that maybe in already Claudio mentioned the importance of the Ham-Cis meetings in celestial and Hamiltonian mechanics over the years. And I think maybe I remember specifically meeting and talking with Hildeberto in Pátzcuaro in Mexico in the 1998 Ham-Cis meeting there, and I think again Claudio had some nice pictures. I also have a picture of some of those days, and I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. But I'm happy that Claudio could recover some of those early pictures. They're great for reminding ourselves what we used to be or what we used to look like in any case. Right? Maybe if we're changed now, it's understandable. So in 1998, I think I met and talked with Hildeberto, and he offered and made this generous offer for me to come visit in Recife, and I was very happy. I think in 1999, that was my first visit to Recife, and those days and those continuing visits over the next few years, including the Matemairacorana in 2005, are something that has special significance and interest for me still. But so I'll talk a little bit about some of the work that was either inspired by Hildeberto or is continuing on in the current period of time. And let me see if I can't now again share my. Okay, right. Okay, so this is a little presentation which I've made. It's my current PhD student Henry Cavle, who is very generously offered to include some graphics from his research, and I appreciate that very much. So the problem that interested me for a long period of time and continues to interest me is this problem in geometry or mechanics to understand the connection between variational properties and stability of closed orbits or geodesics of natural mechanical systems, right? And again, this is a long and old problem, and which has which is continuing to motivate research in the current period as well. So let me just a little bit of history there. Poincaré conjectured that every closed convex surface in three-dimensional Euclidean space has at least one closed elliptic geodesic. And in fact, he had a proof of that, but apparently the proof had some difficulties with it. And in 1979, I believe a Russian Grunchal found a counterexample to that conjecture. But Poincaré also showed in the same time period that on orientable surfaces, any minimizing geodesic was unstable. And for non-orientable surfaces, recent work from Antonio Urania shows us that the opposite is true. The minimizers of the length functional or the energy functional, whichever you like, these could be stable, elliptic stable, closed orbits, right? And actually, his presentation in Puebla this past March, I think, was very, very beautiful, and his example of a closed geodesic on a non-orientable surface, I guess, came from Carathéodory's work as well. And just as a sort of another sidelight to that little historical period, Contreras and his co-author, and one of the problems with the current current situation with the coronavirus, I can't get into my office right now at the university, and I can't get references to certain publications. So I hope you'll bear with me on that. But in any case, Gonzalo Contreras and his co-author showed that in, I believe in around 2005, there was a dense open set of metrics on the two-sphere, which admit at least one closed elliptic geodesic. However, that work that Contreras did was not necessarily of a variational nature. I think it was more of a topological argument made at that time. But so one of the things that Hildeberto and I worked on, he introduced me to the interesting celestial mechanics problem of the isosceles three-body problem with a fixed axis of rotation. And we worked together on that problem a little bit, and led to a nice publication in about somewhere around 2008 or something like that. And the basic idea in that publication was to prove geometrically that the symmetric minimizing orbits in that particular setting were hyperbolic, at least in a generic setting, right? So instability of those periodic orbits came about directly as a consequence of variational structure. Now I'll just mention a couple or one more example, which is really, I think, really beautiful and illustrative, and that's the geodesic flow on a triaxial ellipsoid of this particular form. And I'll show you some graphics in just a moment to illustrate the short closed geodesics on this particular surface in three-dimensional space. And the interesting detail there is, can you connect somehow the stability properties of these short closed geodesics with certain variational properties of the underlying geodesic, right? Now, in the pictures, I guess that will follow, the pictures illustrate the closed geodesic, which lies on the hyperplane y is equal to 0, with different parameter values a, b, and c, and we can permute these parameter values and keep the underlying geodesic on the hyperplane y equals 0. Now so one of the so I'll show you the picture and then I'll come back to this. So one of the interesting cases is the case where the parameters are ordered a less than c less than b, and this corresponds in this case to a stable mountain pass orbit, and mountain pass in the sense of Birkhov's minimax principle, right? Now this particular orbit is the shortest of the three geodesics lying on the coordinate planes x equals 0, y equals 0, or z equals 0. So this particular one is the shortest of those. It's stable. If you order the parameters a is less than b is less than c, and again look at the geodesic on the hyperplane y is equal to 0, then that's of median length and it's unstable. And if b is less than a is less than c, then the geodesic orbit, corresponding geodesic orbit, is longest and stable. So that kind of an interesting pattern. you could ask, and in fact, interesting to understand how that pattern of stability of those geodesic orbits on the different coordinate planes can be precisely attributed to variational properties of those geodesics. And the picture that I have up here now shows the mountain pass periodic orbit, which is stable. And then you can ask the question, well, why is it stable? I mean, so is there a precise geometric intuition or formulation or stability in terms of the variational properties of these orbits? And it turns out that, and in the picture, what you see is the underlying geodesic, which is the red circle. That's on the plane y is equal to 0, and the direction of the geodesic is indicated by the arrow at the initial point, and then the points marked along the geodesic are the order of the conjugate points. Conjugate in the sense of the second variation no longer being minimizing as you extend the interval of the geodesic. So those points of singularity, the conjugate points are indicated in their order 1, 2, and 3. So you can see that over 2 periods of the geodesic, there are 3 conjugate points for this one. Over 1 period, there's only 1 conjugate point which appears. And again, this has been a very old, interesting problem to try to understand the stability of the underlying geodesic in terms of the pattern of conjugate points which appear on the extended geodesic, right? Now, in this case, we have stability. If I go on to the next one, this is an unstable, and then you can see the same kind of information with regard to the conjugate points. But it turns out that the conjugate points are not enough to classify stability. What you really need is the full Morse index of the underlying geodesic, and that Morse index involves a counting of the conjugate points together with a measurement of the concavity of the second variation of the underlying geodesic. And those two quantities, the conjugate index, the counting of the conjugate points along the geodesic, together with the concavity, in fact, give a complete description of stability, at least for geodesics on surfaces, on orientable surfaces like this, right? So in the case of the stable the stable mountain pass geodesic, which is the shortest of those 3 short geodesics on the coordinate planes. Here's the relevant picture, which again has been done for us by Henry Kavle. Over 2 periods of the geodesic, over a double cover of the geodesic, the concavity is measured according to variations in the family of geodesics, and if you linearize a family of geodesics in a parameter, the linearization of that is the quantity c, which appears in the formulation for the concavity. And if you linearize the velocity vectors, then you get the quantity eta, which also appears in this formulation. And the concavity is either 1 or 0 in this particular low dimensional setting, and that information turns out to be relevant if you add the conjugate index, that's the number of conjugate points, together with the concavity over 2 periods of the geodesic, then you get a full description of the the stability. And this is the information that has sort of come to light recently based on my work with Hildeberto, my earlier work with Hildeberto. So if you add up for the shortest of the three geodesic segments on the hypersurfaces corresponding to the coordinate planes, the shortest of those geodesics has 3 conjugate points in the double cover and concavity 0, and you add those to get the full Morse index, which in this case is index 3. For the medium geodesic, the index is 4, and for the long geodesic, the index is 5. So that's a measurement of the variational structure of these corresponding periodic orbits. And the interesting fact is that the index of the double cover is odd is exactly equivalent in this setting to elliptic stability, right? So that's a little brief description of some recent work based on my interaction with my earlier interaction with Hildeberto. And so these considerations had as a precedent work with Hildeberto and Recife in Kingston on parametric resonance for time periodic systems in the plane. And I'll give you just one little example of this, which Hildeberto worked out the details of with me, and that was a very informative and interesting problem. So here I'll just read this over rather quickly. So the motion of a satellite about its center of mass, which is moving along an elliptic orbit around a Newtonian. So elliptic here, of course, means a Keplerian ellipse, not elliptic in the sense of stability, but moving along an elliptic orbit around a Newtonian center of attraction is discussed by a 3 degree of freedom Hamiltonian system, which is 2 pi periodic in the true anomaly, which we think of as the time variable. And the variables for this satellite problem are the Euler angles of the attitude matrix and their canonically conjugate momenta. And a particular solution of the equations of motion is given by these Euler angles, specific Euler angles, theta and phi, with the variables psi and psi satisfying a system of 2 canonical differential equations of first order with corresponding Hamiltonian. So here's the Hamiltonian of the for the motion once we restrict to that special solution of the equations given by Euler angles theta and phi in that setting. And there's parameters in this problem. There's many parameters. Eccentricity of the elliptic orbit.
Maybe another connection problem. Nobody can hear then, Stefanella. I think that you have a connection problem. We wait a couple minutes. Okay.
Escuta mais essa porra. Cadê o som dessa festa?
Cláudio,
Sim.
Are you able to resume if Dan cannot come back?
Okay.
So we keep leapfrogging between the two of you. So that'll be interesting.
We wait for done, or I can continue now? Here it's done. Down is
It's
coming.
back. So let just be stand by and stand strong.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now, or am I still on the?
No. Yes. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so there's just a little bit now. You know, I'm not sure where I got cut off, but I'll try to pick that up a little bit and just work show you some of the last details that Hildeberto and I worked out on the satellite, on the stability of the satellite problem. I'm not sure exactly where I got cut off there, but anyway, I'll just go back to the screen that I had. Okay. All right. All right. So again, just working through or working over some of the details that that Hildeberto and I worked out on this interesting question of stability for satellite dynamics. I'll sort of cut this fairly short here, where I don't want to take up too much time. But we were interested in studying this stability problem of the system, and interested in the continuation of the 2π periodic solution emanating from the eccentricity equal to 0 case, from the equilibrium position psi is equal to 0, when a certain parameter mu is varied, and the corresponding curves in the parameter space define the boundary of the instability region. Now, what this in the language of variational work, what we're looking for is a region in the parameter space, and the parameters in this case would be a parameter mu, which is connected to these other parameters theta sub a and theta sub c, and the eccentricity of the underlying Keplerian ellipse. And to get these curves which delineate the regions of instability, we looked at an expansion in the eccentricity parameter, and we wanted to find solutions of the linearized problem whose rotation index turned out to be a multiple of pi. And now that rotation index is very, very close. It's not identical, but it's very close to a measurement of the Morse index of these underlying solutions of this time periodic problem as well, right? So the idea there was that we would try to use this rotation index as opposed to extensive computations with normal forms, right? And what we found were for certain resonances which appear in that in the problem, the resonances for the parameter values mu naught 1/4 and 9/4. We studied the special case of the resonance at 1/4 and looked for the continuation of periodic solutions for large values of the eccentricity parameter E, right? And we were able to actually compute using this rotation index, which again is something very close to the Morse index. We were able to compute specific values of these parameters which appear in that expansion, right? Now, I'd like to just finish up by wishing Hildeberto very, very happy birthday. Many more to come, Hildeberto, and I sincerely appreciate your generous offer of time and intelligence to some of the thoughts that I've had in these intervening years. Okay, so I'll finish that presentation now. Okay, actually, one more thing maybe I could just mention. Look at this. I have one. Actually, I've got several several mementos from my visits to Recife. Here's one of them. Look at this guy here. Look at that guy. So this guy. That's a beautiful thing, right? So so I've got several, including a little trip that Hildeberto took me on into the countryside around in Pernambuco, around Recife, and I remember collecting some beautiful artisan work in the neighborhood of Recife during some of those excursions. And again, I would like to thank Hildeberto for his generous time and thoughtful thoughtful intervention in these considerations. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Dan, for your wonderful presentation. Claudio, can you resume from where you were talking?
Okay.
And then afterwards, Annette will take over.
Ok, Annette, você vai apresentar?
Consegue ver a sua apresentação daí? Acho que parou mais ou menos aí.
Consigo.
Ok. Me fala quando for para passar.
Tu pode voltar atrás só para resumir?
Sim.
Assim, rapidamente.
Um instante.
Sorry for my connection problem. My presentation is about the dissemination of the word. Para trás, né?
Eu estou tentando, meu computador não quer trocar. So it's so complicated. Eu não consigo nem fechar o microfone. Gente, não acredito. Ok. Cláudio?
Para trás, né? Do começo.
Não estou conseguindo mexer. Né? Agora acho que vai. Um instante, por favor. Eu não sei o que aconteceu. Você quer tentar apresentar, Cláudio?
Posso tentar. Me dá.
Veja agora, por favor.
Vamos ver. ¿Dá para ver? Can you see? Okay.
Looks good.
So I would like to summarize my presentation. I start talking about some important aspect of the Cabral career. Here I present the topic of his related with Hamiltonian system and celestial mechanics. And then I point out that an important initial point of his research in celestial mechanics was the HAMSIS in 1991 in Guanajuato, where Hildeberto present the talk on Jacobi coordinate in the three-body problem. And then I present a picture. Next, he participates in the HAMSIS 98 in Pátzcuaro. Here we have a a nice picture. This is other picture. And then I say that for Hildeberto is very important the scientific cooperation, the scientific exchange, the scientific invited researchers. I mentioned Ken Meyer. I mentioned also Donald Saari. I recall Dieter Schmidt, Sean Chia. Also I mentioned the Florin Diago, Alan Albui. This research work in different topics. These different topics were very important in the development group in Recife. Alan Chessinet, Ernesto Lacomba, and then I mentioned many other collaborated in scientific research in Recife: Clark Robinson, John Magibre, David Sosan, Ernesto Perez, Guadalupe, Francesco Faso, Laurent, Marc Levy, Jean-Pierre Marcot, Chris McCord, etc., and many other research: Silvio, Jair, Clodoaldo, Teresa, Stefanella, and many others. Excuse me if I forgot something. And this was my last slide, I think. The book has consequence of the Recife lectures, Classical and Celestial Mechanics, the Recife lecture, who was written by Hildeberto and Diaco, and this book summarized different lectures given in the summer school in Recife. And now I would like to mention two books, two Marquez books, who were translated by Hildeberto. The first one is Liberation Point in Celestial Mechanics and Cosmodynamics. This book was very important in Recife because as consequence of this book, several master theses and PhD theses were developed. And this book has been used by different schools in Celestial Mechanics in Hamiltonian system around the world. Recently, Hildeberto made the translation of the books called Linear Hamiltonian System and some application to the problem of stability and to the problem of stability of motion of satellites relative to the center of mass. The translation of the book also has been used by Hildeberto in order to develop some PhD thesis and master thesis in problem of celestial mechanics about parametric stability. Hildeberto helped organize different events like periodic seminars, different summer school, several visiting professors, and some workshop on Hamiltonian system and celestial mechanics. This event permit the dissemination of the celestial mechanics and Hamiltonian system in Recife, but not everything is work. Hildeberto divide his life between work, some meeting in his house, This picture is in Maceió with his friend Dante Maranhão. Here is a picture in Principado de Andorra. Together, Hildeberto, we visit Principado de Andorra and some place in France. We visit the beautiful city in Carcassonne. Drinking a good coffee. I think it's not coffee, but probably also we drink coffee. And this is a nice picture. Where are you here, Hildeberto?
Marrakech.
Yeah, very nice picture. And finally, I would like to mention his family. I know that his family is very important in his life, as we see in the previous video in the first part of this meeting. The brothers, the big family, the new Cabral family, and finally his partner, his friend, his wife, Elizabeth. And that's all. Parabéns, Hildeberto. Felicidades. Congratulations. Longa vida y mucha saúde. Together, your wife, your family, and continue work in system mechanics and Hamiltonian system. Thank you very much. That's all. Okay, Jair.
Very, very nice, Claudio. Thank you so much for this informative and moving presentation. We all as happy as Hildeberto surely is. And so I'm passing now everything to the young people, to Annette and his colleagues to take over the rest of the meeting.
Tiago.
Hello.
Tiago.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Vai.
Okay. Then we will start the comments. Stefanella asks about to tell us the interest.
Sim?
Can you speak about, Stefanella?
Sim. Hi, everyone from Rio. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So I just want to tell the story on my first time I met Hildeberto. I was at the observatory in Paris. I was doing a sort of postdoc there. And was the day where students or postdocs were asked to present brief summaries about their research. It was 10, 15 minutes summary. And I was asked to talk about my research, but I was not so willing to give that talk. First, because my French was terrible at the time. Second, because I thought, who cares about vortices in an observatory? But then I say, okay, if you're asked, you give a talk. So I give a talk in my very poor French, and you know, calm, because okay, who cares? But I try to give a shot. And at the end of the talk, there is this man that raised his hand from, you know, the first row and asked me, would you like to come to Recife? And it was Hildeberto. And I was shocked because at the time, I didn't even know where was Recife, you know? I didn't even have a real job. My contract was finishing, and I was waiting to see if some other contract was going to open. So I looked at the map and I thought, wow, it's on the other side of the planet, you know, like, and of course, Hildeberto thought, you know, a visit for 2 months, you know, as usual, as Claudio mentioned, he likes to bring people in. And so in the usual spirit of Hildeberto, why not to have new visitors? And then I thought, okay, you know, but I'm going to cross the globe for 2 months to come back to where, you know, it was, the whole thing was a little bit fluke. But thanks to Brazilian times to go to get things through, Hildeberto took some time to get financial support, and in the meantime, I had the contract, so things were a little bit more organized on my side, so I could go 2 months and come back to some other job, and this how it started my coming and going. This went on for 5 years with Pernambuco. So this how it started. I think it was very nice, completing, you know, of course I had to learn a lot from Hildeberto, and it was very nice exchange. And this 10-minute thought and this Hildeberto raising his hand changed my entire path in my life. So when I had to explain to students what is chaos, was it theory of chaos, this is the example. Small deviation from initial condition brings to totally different trajectory. Okay? Thank you, Hildeberto. Thank you very much for whole, and I do hope we go back to talk and to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pamela. Mr. Meyer, can you talk some words from Hildeberto? I don't know if Meyer understand my poor English. Mr. Meyer, can you hear me?
I think that is not here. Maybe Alan Chantinet, I don't know.
Just a moment. Alan Chantinet?
Yes, what do you want me to do?
Can you hear me? Can you talk some words about Hildeberto?
To whom are you speaking now? It's not very easy with this. Oh.
Alain, on t'écoute pas, on t'entend pas.
Oui.
Est-ce que tu peux parler quelques mots pour Hildeberto?
Et là, tu m'entends?
Oui, on entend très bien. En anglais, c'est mieux, en fait.
Non?
Oui, on t'entend.
Okay, I had prepared some slides, but now with this little, I suppose it's better to wait for the slides that I have sent to you.
Yeah, but if you want to say some words for Hildeberto, his birthday is tomorrow.
Well, today I can say happy birthday, and and I say a little more in the slides. So, of course, each time I went to receive, it was a real pleasure. I must admit that I'm sorry for the people who are from Rio, but that I far more prefer Recife and the Nordest to Rio. So, and maybe Hildeberto is one of the reasons for that. And it's always a great pleasure to be there. And I hope it's not the last time we meet. So thank you for everything. And when Annette will show the slides, then you'll see some pictures and some good memories of trips that we did together.
Thank you. Thank you, José. The organization selected some comments of the audience in the chat. Then I will read these comments. Juliano Sarmento says, happy birthday, Uncle Beto. Maite Culeza says, happy birthday, Hildeberto. Thank you. Margarida Julia says, it is a great homage to this great mathematician, Hildeberto. Congratulations. Jana Freire. I'm here to desire you a very special day, Uncle Beto. Sônia Pinto de Carvalho, 6. Happy birthday, Hildeberto. Lina Esmeraldo, 6. It's a wonderful homenage to Uncle Hildeberto. Congratulations and big kisses. Angelo Alberti. Congratulations to the great Professor Hildeberto. Alison Oliveira, 6. Congratulations, Professor Hildeberto. You is a big example and inspiration for us. Juliano Sarmento Cabral, 6. A very well-deserved honor event. Congratulations. Alan Cássio Eulálio, 6. Happy birthday, Berto. You deserve this great honor. Eulálio Cabral, 6. Congratulations, Berto. A big hug. You deserve this homage. Danilo Felizardo. Happy birthday, Alberto. Angela Didier, 6. Happy birthday, Professor Hildeberto. Angela Mota, 6. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Hildeberto. Sorry for my phone. And this is the general comments from the audience. And I have a short a short comment about my experience with Professor Hildeberto. When I meet the Professor Hildeberto, I meet the Professor Hildeberto at the first time in a classroom, in a course of multidimensional analysis. And I want to say, Hildeberto is a great professor. He has big energy and happiness when he talk about mathematics. And in this month, I meet Hildeberto in mais over. Vou para o português. Nesse último mês, a gente participou de uma defesa, né, do aluno Alan, desse doutorado, e é incrível como, sei lá, 10 anos depois, o Hildeberto fala de matemática com o mesmo entusiasmo, com um entusiasmo ainda maior. Né? É uma coisa fascinante, assim, ver uma pessoa falar sobre matemática com tanta alegria, com tanto entusiasmo. Então, é um entusiasmo que tem derivada positiva e aceleração positiva. Então, passou mais de 10 anos desde a primeira vez que eu vi o Hildeberto falando sobre matemática, e 10 anos depois ele está mais entusiasmado. Então, eu fico pensando como é que isso é possível. Né? Cada vez mais entusiasmado. É impressionante isso. Então, eu tenho uma grande admiração por essa alegria e por esse entusiasmo ao falar de matemática. É isso, Hildeberto. Parabéns aí.
Obrigado.
Someone has some comment or some words to talk about Professor Hildeberto?
Maybe Professor Hildeberto also.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizers this the job of organizing this meeting. The idea of the Matemairacorana is to get together people during a long period with little few activities every time, and when they come to the idea of repeating this event, I found it interesting, and I thank all of them. And I am very well. It's hard to have words to say in such an occasion. I just thank everybody, and I'm glad to see all my colleagues and friends, and to thank them in the construction of this group of in celestial mechanics that we hope to continue to continue in the future. And thank you to all of you for helping this to come to be realized, to be executed. I don't even have English sufficient to say what I thank you very much.
So great to see you, Hildeberto. You're looking wonderful, like a king again.
Thank you, Hildeberto. And let's meet again next week and more weeks to come.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hildeberto.
Thank you, all of you.
So we see everybody in 1 week. Annette, please, and all the group, please keep sending emails to everybody.
Yeah, we will send the mail with the link. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next week.
Eu sou.
Nelson, passa aí a vinheta para Hildeberto ver de novo. Com mais calma agora, já que o estresse passou.
Deixa eu parar aqui.
Acho que a gente pode parar a gravação, né?
Oi, Hildeberto, tudo bem?
Tudo bom, Estanela.